This is a Ciarfox, and welcome to my stream. Need to put that on. We're gonna see how well this goes. Real quickly, I think this is the one I need for the, I would say, yeah, delivery to Fort Job. Need it for the final, get their current in, Lakeland. Hail, sinner! Might this old woman impose upon you to travel to Fort Job in her stead? My son Chadwick is the guard there. I noticed that there's also a baby here. I thought that they just brought it in for the other thing. I guess, Inbringers actually have a baby model. Or I haven't been paying attention. Probably haven't been paying attention. My son Chadwick is a guard out there, and I have a package for him that wants to be delivered. I go myself, but my knees simply aren't up to the task. Now it's going to be a short stream, because I'm still kind of sick. So... The package? Your paper package is tied up with string, like not contained of... I was gonna say, we're making a favorite things reference. These are a few of my favorite things. Doorbells and sleigh bells and so is Europe. Oh, food for mother! Everyone will be so pleased. Her last letter mentioned how distraught she was to hear members of the guard had given their lives at Holmester Switch, and how touched that so many more risked themselves to protect it. But of course she would be. Our whole family is from there, after all. I expect that she wanted to express her feelings by preparing food for us. She does that. Wait a moment. You were at Holmester Switch too, weren't you? I saw you on the front lines. Yeah, I was murdering things. As I do. I knew it. I don't think I could ever forget the sight of you, facing down eater after eater without even once flinching. It's not just me. You're an inspiration to us all. Here's an idea. What if you pass these out to the rest of the guard? I'm sure they'll be awestruck. Yeah, this is before I became known as the Warrior of Darkness, but cool. Yeah, sure. Is that up? Is that up? Is that Are You Blind? Yes. So nothing new. Pretty much. No main meal. Yeah, my thanks for this, but also for the battle. I remember you well. Though we lost many, might have been many more without your aid. Might have been this entire world, you know? Bjorn. Bjorn. Ah, food, thank you. And may I just say, it's a true honor to have you here. Your bravery on the field will not soon be forgotten. Woo! Guess I'm going around this way. Dodrick. Chadwick's mother's made this? It's the best news I've had in days. Her cooking is excellent. I was sorry that we couldn't save their home, but at least the whole family made it out alive. Yes, I'm doing this as the Reaper, so I can get XP for the Reaper. Grimcog. Oh, I also need to run over to Thom or whatever. Wicked White, you're her! You were there, in the middle of it all, as strong as 100 men, a bulwark against the tide of eaters that threatened to overwhelm us. Now you brought me a sandwich. Just don't tell me to go to the kitchen to make you more. Then there might be issues. Pleased were they, as I expected. I apologize for asking such a trifling task of you. We've lost a lot of people on the battlefield. Anything that might raise morale is well worth trying. And I thought that if they admire you half as much as I do, well... yeah, in any case, you have my sincerest gratitude. I saved my favorite portion of the food for you, so please take it along with you with my thanks. Alright. Everything unlocked. Alright. My current Dark Knight outfit. Looking emo as possible, yes. Emo just emoed all the way to emo station. I don't know where I was going with that. I'm not well enough to make thought out conversation. Yeah. Take to the road! All set to embark on our great hunt, Ishnai? Then let us be about it. Before you ask, I have no intention of leading us out into the woods without even an inkling of Dionysus's whereabouts. Noverant may not particularly be a large realm, even before the flood, but it'll take a dozen lifetimes to scour every nook and cranny. So start by asking a place I know for a fact that Dionysus has attacked before, the village of Wright in Colsa. I don't have the reason to believe you will return. I'd like to think that the survivors may know something of value. After all, you can be sure that they haven't forgotten the day the bastard came through. So let's be off then. I might run up to the dwarf place while we're at it. And I'm thinking about it. Do the weekly that I've been forgetting for the past like 2-3 weeks. I'm not sure if I have a mindset to do anything like an actual raid or something. Our dwarf. The remember what accents are good to have sorted. Merchants of Koroma. Dwarf is wearing his part for the cause. I appreciate you letting me join and apologize for my earlier rudeness. Not to make us excuses, but it's been a trying time for all of us. Now that I've been pondering the ways I might contribute to rebuilding efforts, while I don't have many talents outside of those considered normal for a dwarf such as Trinket at any rate, people do say that I have a gift of the gob. Using this gift, a mind to peddle wares outside the world to earn coin to put towards our work. Just one problem. At the moment, we don't have anything that would fetch halfway decent price. Now, we need something more unusual and exotic than our grog and our automata. And as I racked my brain for ideas, it came to me, what could be more unusual and exotic than objects from another world? The machines that had the base inside the crater, I understand, is brimming with all manner of paraphernalia. Such items are guaranteed to fetch a high price. We just need someone to venture in and retrieve them. Yeah. If you're not fussy about what I bring back. As long as it's as usual, I'm confident I could spend a sales pitch for it. Oh yes, the coin bags of Euromore will trip over themselves for such rare curios. So just bring back the items and leave the rest to me. Our coffers will be full before you know it. Bad idea. Let's go. Bad idea. Let's go. Maybe better if I, actually go and turn into one of my faster ones. But are you gonna do that? Probably not. Heavy container. One. I wonder if we could get a, preview of what kind of gab she's gonna make up with this. Gabby gab 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 gabbin gabby gabbin. Hey Rose, how are you? Oh, I'm sorry about that, Rose. Goodness. Know how hard you were trying on that. What, we were at 35? Just Twitch being a bitch. Unidentified. I'm sorry. I wasn't feeling too. I'm still not feeling too well, but we're doing this at least. I at least want to do a few things and then we'll end for tonight. I mean, I could. I'm used to having ear infections, so it's no big deal. Bet. Back to the crater, are you? Come, come, come. Show me what you had to find. Oh, strange and wondrous items all. I examined everything closely before I attempt to peddle them, but these ought to snap up with dairy, fuss. My thanks for rigging these. Now I can do my little part for our village. Ah, before I forget, the chief was asking about you earlier. If you have a moment, go and see what he wants. Bet? I don't plan on doing a pretty long stream. I just want to do at least the 2 Shadowbringers role quests, which maybe take an hour or so. So... Lolly doubtless you already guessed who, but there are another recording devices arrived here in Canog here. Oh, you... Say, was it one of those Apple Watches that was expensive, or was it just a nice watch altogether? As far as I can tell, he's sitting at the regular intervals. What could the boy be up to? Oh, I can understand that feeling. Tough, I could ask you the same. What devious scheme you plotting? Well, whatever it is, you won't succeed. This is my village, and I'm not having you have your way with it. Huh? What did I say? Why do I feel so angry? If I said anything. $30, $40 what? Yeah, but sometimes when you're used to having something there and it's gone, you realize it more acutely. As you can see, Glog's still behaving strangely. When I tried talking to him earlier, he's all but told me to bugger off. On the face of it, you'd assume he's taking exception to what I did at the meeting, but this is a little too strange. At any rate, this is my problem to do with, not yours. You're just focused on doing your parts for the cause, eh? Obtain a message. Portable. So how did it break? Was it just old, or just, you know, us autistics being graceful and falling onto everything? You know, falling on a straight, you know, straight shot walk. Oh, fiddle with the band constantly. Also might be a stem thing. Do you have a little sewing machine or something that you could maybe get it fixed with? Hi, Haru! What you up to? Doing farming? It's a plastic band. Ah. So you can't... Like, I don't know. If it came unraveled, like, folded over and... Folded over and what was the other stuff? What am I looking for? Kanog's message. Okay. Dear Ishnai, I forgot to mention that I brought a pod with me. It assures that the spheres from that came from different world and their purpose is to invade others by duplicating machine life forms. It's weird to think that to someone ours is the other world. Dear Ishnai, I found out that 2B and 9S accessed the spheres before this started, which is why they knew about the machine life forms' plans to take over our world. They added their own data to that of the machine life forms, where copies were being made. Like some sort of technological virus, apparently, so that they could come here and stop the machines. They were our allies from the beginning to the end. No. Okay. Just a second. You need to replace it like once a year, 1 to 2 years. Yeah. According to how much you fiddle with it. I wish they'd make them a bit more durable when it comes to kind of that fiddling stuff. Welcome to Right. I reckon it might not seem like much to you, but to me, well, never mind. We'll save that conversation for after. Track down Dionysus is what matters now. Let's split up and ask after the bastard. Better odds turning up useful information that way, I wager. No, it's because I'll probably find all the information, as you know, main protagonist I am. Come and find me after you finish your inquiries. It's not a big village, so you shouldn't have any trouble. Skittish villager. Who was that? What do you want with me? The senator? The one that came to kill everyone? Oh god, is he here? Why did you talk about him? Oh, I knew I should have stayed inside. Nothing but death out here. Death, horror eaters, and... Wanna try that again? No. Oh, I'm wandering. The wrong direction of everything. Despondent villager. Come here. Huh? Where did you come from? What do you want with me? Your soul! Dionysus, that thrice-time eater that's a spitting image of Galgant Knight. That Dionysus? I can't help you. All I know is when he came, he wicked white. If you'd seen the carnage, you would... I'm sorry, I can't talk about this. Bounce. Okay, no bouncing. No bouncing. Well, let's learn anything we're sharing. I wish I could say I'm surprised, but I'm not. What we saw that day, what he did to us, there's no moving on from that. What exactly happened here? Well, I was planning to tell you the whole story eventually, but I suppose now is as good a time as any. Yes? I was born and raised in Wright, lacking any real prospects. I eked out a living as a hunter. I tried my hand at something more exciting, had I not also been trying to provide for the love of my life, Melinda. It was about a year ago when she accepted a commission from this Umorian trader. Bloke mostly in antiques, and he had this bracelet in need of restoration. Bloody old with a questionable provenance, but supposedly once belonged to royalty as such. Fangs of Orthus, he called it. Me and her had been talking about tying the proverbial knot, buying land, building a home, that sort of thing. Around here that might not take much, but it was still a lot more than we had. So when the trader made his offer, she didn't hesitate to say yes. I'd had gone down to the shipyards to pick up extra tools and materials she needed for work. Quality stuff, but it'd pay itself for its 10 times over. But when I got back to Wright, Dionysus had been busy. I spied at least a dozen newborn eaters fluttering about, trying to make sense of their new lot. The grandmother who lived next door and shared fruit with her orchard with us, the gruff woodsman who'd brought firewood to our doorstep in the dead of winter, both of them reduced to mindless fiends, just like that. It wasn't time to mourn or think. I started looking for Melinda, and then she was, alive and well. Our eyes met. We knew it was going to be all right. We ran to each other and poof. Even now, a year later, it doesn't feel real. One moment she was there, right there in front of me, and the next she was... Dionysus knelt and took the fang of Orthus and left, leading a host of sin eaters right out of Wright. But Melinda, I still couldn't see her as anything else. She wouldn't budge. She was just hovering there, staring, waiting for me to end it. Well, I could never say no to her, not in the years we've been together. For all the time she'd welcome me home with a bowl of hot stew. All the time she laughed at my crude jokes and gave me counsel when I was losing my way. For all that and more, I killed her. I swore then and there that I'd have my vengeance. Dionysus would die by my hand. I know that's not his real name. I'm just calling him that because I'm too lazy to try and figure out the correct way to. Also, jokes. I carved the scars in my flesh to mirror the ones he left on my soul. Alright, angst. An endearing reminder of the vow I never dare stray from the path. There. All done. No need to wallow in it. Wouldn't want my tragedy... I wouldn't want my tragic yet trite tale to put you off our hunt. Still with me till the end, sinner. That's the spirit. Still, I have some unfinished business here, so if you could give me a moment before we resume, I would be most grateful. Boyo, serious. Sorry to have kept you waiting, Sinner. I'm sure you're eager to get back to it, as am I. Trouble is, in your absence, I failed to turn up any information as to the whereabouts of Dionysus. Well, I mean, I've only given you like 10 seconds. Sorry. There's one line of inquiry I've yet to pursue, though. The Fang of Orthus. The bracelet my beloved was supposed to restore, and that Eater took with him when he left for... Right. Sin Eaters are mindless fiends driven by only base instinct. Everyone knows that. They have no need for worldly possessions. Yet Dionysus took that bracelet away, which can only mean that there's something unique about this particular antique, or the Sunless Bastard's somehow different from the rest of his ilk. I mean, yes on both accounts? Either way, I think we need to learn more about the Fang of Orthus, and I know just the man, the Umorian trader who commissioned Linda's services. Much as I'd like to question him myself, though, I don't think that's an option. Even though Dionysus' attack was a year ago was common knowledge, I doubt the trader would believe that an eater stole his precious trinket, who might likely accuse me of the theft and have me clapped in irons. So I'm afraid you'll have to go in my stead, Ishnai. Melinda said he was a regular at the Beehive, so try looking for him there. Yay. Yeah. Alright. behave defined by loss. There. And who do I own the pleasure that is your company? Fangs of the Orthus, you say? How very interesting. I should be glad to tell you everything I know, under the assumption that should you recover it, you will see it return to its rightful owner at once. I purchased the bracelet from a traveling peddler who claimed it was a relic of Volbrot, a glorious kingdom that fell with the flood like so many others. He spoke true from what I could tell, and I intended to sell it to a collector here for a tidy profit, after having it properly restored by an artisan and right. Alas, she was one of several casualties of a sin-eater attack during which the Fang of Orthus mysteriously vanished. I have, of course, been keeping in touch with several contracts on and off chance that theft might attempt to sell it. They have not, regrettably, but a piece similar design did resurface in Moltsulk, I am told. I was planning to dispatch an agent to investigate, but you seem more than capable of fulfilling that role. Do I? I think you're making a big assumption here. As for incentive, you may be assured that any information that aids me in the acquisition of the Fangs of Orthus or similar relics will be rewarded. The piece in question is a choker of similar age and design as to the Fangs of Orthus. The owner is yet to find a buyer, I believe, but I should very much like to make it my own. We're going to Sok. Oh, wait. No, he wants us to go to right first. I was trying to, you know, jump ahead of things. You know, as I do. Oh, sorry. That was loud. So what did our industrious patron have to say? He thinks it was stolen, eh? Just as well. We'd probably not know where to head next if it weren't for his distrusting nature. Thank you. If this piece of similar design is related to the Fangs of Orthus, then might attract Dionysus' attention. Assuming it hasn't already, let's go. Fine weather we're having today in Moltsulk, isn't it? Well, no such a thing without value. That's the creed of these folks. We'll find no shortage of overripe trinkets here. Finding the right one, on the other hand, is a challenge. I say divide and conquer as before. Divide and conquer. Boxes. Well met. How may it be of service to you? Oh, a choker that once belonged to Verbot royalty, you say? If only I had such a remarkable treasure in my possession, but no, I do not. In all my years, have I never even heard of someone unearthing such a thing. Never have I ever. Hume peddler. Do you have business with me, traveler? Ah, the Volbright choker? Is that what all this fuss is about? Then you're in luck. My father... Why did I say father? My husband is yet to sell it. Once we realized how valuable it was, though he insisted on carrying with him at all times. If you're not willing to wait for him to return, you could try and find him at the ruins where he was scavenging for relics. They're not far. What news, friend? Buddy, pal. Ha! To think it was that easy. You're the look of the Fae. I am Fae, yes. But we need to hurry. If my theory's correct, then so long as the scavenger is the choker, he's a target for Dionysus. Over there. Yeah, over there. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Keep on that. Didn't mean to hit that. Fuck. Messed that joke up by moving forward. Mercy! Mercy! I mean, you could have picked a better safe word. Whatever you want, please. Don't kill me. I have a family. Please, I beg you. Someone just lost their help. Yep, yep. That looks like a head thing, not a choker. Please! Murder, she wrote. Murder. Shame you missed the fun. This one bit off more than he could chew. Probably because it was a newborn. You can tell by the lingering vestiges of intelligence in South. You can see it in their eyes. Like when Dionysus, don't tell me you saw him? Wicked White! And he took the choker too? Damn it all. Can't keep getting away with this. He can't keep getting away with this. It's just like right. It was too late to save him, just like I was too late to save her. But not again! Never again! I'm quite sure we're probably gonna do it a few more times before we get to the end of this. I'll hunt you to the ends of the world, Dionysus! Vengeance will be mine! Ahem. Right, yes. Neither the time nor the place. More eaters could be about. It's just, every time I cut one down, it reminds me of my first. Of her. I mean, it tends to be the importance of the first. Ba-ba-bum. So, I have some news. Oh, are you gonna tell the wife? We may have failed to stop him this time, but what matters is we'll both live to see another day. Pity the scavenger didn't, and the wife doesn't yet know that she's become a widow. Sod it. I'll tell her what happened. I'll be there, so that it may help me find the right... I've been there, so it might help me find the right words. Not that there ever are any. Afterwards, I'll have a good think about our next step. Don't keep me from your other affairs, Ishnai. We'll speak again soon. Hey there, sinner. I broke the bad news to the widow of that scavenger while you were away. She took it about as well as you expected. After she cried herself hoarse, I started asking her about the choker and where her husband had gotten it. Seems he and his mates took a trip to Ilmeg a year or so back, helping to cart off Verabite treasures they could carry from an untouched ruin they learned about. Of course, in their greed, they neglected to account for the Fey folk who killed and drove most of them mad. Those who survived didn't come away empty-handed, though. In fact, they stumbled upon a remarkable find: 3 sacred treasures of the royal family. They escaped with 2, Fangs of Orthus being one of them, which was sold by another scavenger to a Umoran. Either that merchant you met at the Beehive or his agents of his, I wager. So the merchant gives it over to the Menilia for restoration, after which Dionysus attacks right, presumably because he's after it as well. Meanwhile, the scavenger here in Sok keeps the choker, the Eyes of Orthus, locked away for safekeeping. And when he finally decides to sell it, the sinless bastard shows up again. Which brings us to the here and now. Damned if I know why, but at this point there's no denying that Dionysus is hunting the royal relics. And so, assuming he hasn't already claimed the third, the Claws of Orthus, then I would say we get our hands on it first, then use it to lure him out of hiding. But to that end, we'd have to venture into the Fey Kingdom ourselves. Those scavengers didn't receive the warmest welcome. Those scavengers did not receive the warmest welcome, and were not like to be treated any better. I've traveled to Ilmeg before. I have a friend there. They wanted me to become their king. Have you now? And the little devils let you go? I can only assume they've taken a liking to you. That settles it then. We'll head to Ilmeg and ask about this Verabite ring. Your funeral, dude. If you get their attention. Since I have not reappeared next to you yet. Until now. What a remarkably uneventful trip. I kept jumping at shadows, waiting for the eaters or foul demons or worse to attack, though that might have been preferable to the Fae, frankly. Still, we're going to have to deal with them eventually if we're to find the ring. After all, the Numor were part of Verabite society, and without their help, I'm not sure where to even begin our search. Perhaps there's a village of some sort you can guide us to. Well, there's plenty. Plenty? Huh? Very well. Lead on, Sinner. And he leaves without letting me actually lead on. Princess and her knight. Something about your demeanor bespeaks a question unasked. Have I the right of it? And maybe the wrong of it, and maybe the left of it, and maybe the right of it? That ring That a ring that belongs to the royal family of Volbort, and it was called Claws of Orthus. But Volbort is long gone, as are the caretakers of the ring you seek. Who can say where it might have got to? Nowhere good is the answer. Hello there. Have you any questions for me? Claws of Orthus is a ring, you say? The name I've heard before, but I know nothing save that. Oh, Sul served the royal family before the flood. Somewhat temperamental they are, but they will have the knowledge of this treasure you seek. Cat. Have you had yourself a conversation or three? Learn anything interesting? I don't know. Did you? So this Suol is the one we ought to speak with, eh? A former servant of the royal family, which means they've lived well over a century. Bugger me. Not interested. Cool. Okay. We found our new of late you've proven yourself to be a skilled conversationalist. So why don't you explain the situation? Sure. I can hear quite well with my ears right now, so yeah. At least I can read better with my eyes. I don't know you, yet you seem to know me. The fifth was discovered yesterday. A girl not yet of age, transformed into a misshapen beast like the others before her. As if we needed more proof of a pattern. At this rate, any citizen could be next. Tell me you at least learned something from this one. I studied her remains myself. 'Twas plain a powerful magic has been employed. Vestiges of an enchantment lingered long after. The culprit, I think, is not a man to be trifled with. That is all I can say for now, but you may rest assured that I will ascertain their identity ere long. On my honor as a court mage, I swear it. Until I do, however, I would implore you and your fellow knights to dispatch any who turn or show signs without hesitation. But these are our kith and kin. Shall we not try and keep them alive until a way to reverse their transformation can be found? Your mercy will place countless others at risk. As a knight of Verbote, did you not also vow to serve all her people? Justice for the weakest among us, was it not? How many such innocents will die before you do what must needs be done? It pains me deeply, Brandon, but the safety of the royal family is paramount. I fear that it would take anything less than the most drastic measures would be to invite death into this castle. Death is already here. Surely you must see that. I will not let it be whispered that the princess Dinah turned a blind eye to her people's suffering. These crimes are a tragedy that weighs upon every Verbright soul. Mine most of all, and that's why I will take charge of this investigation myself. My lady, be reasonable. You cannot put yourself in harm's way. You have the responsibility to your subjects. So I am to gamble with their lives instead? Let them shield me while I alone take shelter and look down on them from on high? That's how royalty works. Yes, exactly. You are their princess. You are Brandon, yes? The new recruit? A rather promising one, from what the captains told me. You will attend me personally. My lady? You heard me. I will not stand idly by when I have the power to make a difference. Together we will see justice for all, as your vow and your princess demand. Look into my eyes. My lady, I understand. Forgive my hesitation. My life and my sword are yours to command. I have great expectations for you. I trust you will not disappoint me. Right. There's no telling when our culprit will strike again, so we must begin our investigation at once. There are witnesses to be questioned, clues to be gathered. Come, come. Now, my lady! Ever the stubborn child. I wish you the best of luck, Brandon. You'll need it and more. Hey, are you alright? No, never. The way you were holding your head as if racked by a terrible pain? What happened to you just now? I am crazy. My lady? You saw her with your mind's eye? Then it is as suspected. You have the gift too. You are like Brandon. What do you mean she's like Brandon? I have lasers for eyes. Why have you come to me? What is it you seek? I see. And for this hunt of yours, you have come to Ilmeg in search of the claws of Orthus. Hey, Banana, how are you? I'm afraid this is no simple matter. First, I would note that you are capable of facing the eater you seek. There is a spot in the river not far from here, which I used to bathe, until a number of beasts grew equally fond of it. If you are the warrior you claim to be, they should pose no challenge whatsoever. As for you, I have questions. Ba, 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 ba. A hostile presence. Oh no. Dark Mutant! They And then we be lazy and teleport straight back. Excitement? Question mark. The beasts are no more then. Good, good. I haven't the heart to do it myself, for they are no ordinary beasts, but old friends who survived the flood, victims of the curse you heard us speak of in your vision. So this curse transforms people into monsters, like how sin eaters can spawn more of their own kind. I will speak no more of this or no other matter until you have completed the task I have set before you. This is not negotiable, grandson. Ishnai accepted my terms, and so must you. Huh, so secretive, the both of you. Can't we all just speak plain? No. Your comrade refuses to acknowledge his situation. This may take a time, but I am patient. Indeed, I have dealt with many a stubborn child in my life. Well, it will be ending pretty quickly on that one. Oh, you've returned. They made me go and gather a bunch of strange mushrooms, so hopefully we can finally get some answers. Exemplary timing, Ishnai. 'Twas not for a moment ago that grandson returned, having at last obliged my humble request. Humble request my arse. The one's no better than the Yulmoran aristocrat, so accustomed to making others doing their bidding. I tell you, there's something off-putting about taking orders from a dog. Ere you continue and give me cause to reconsider aiding your hunt, perhaps you should ask your questions. Fine. Ishnai said she saw a vision of you and Brandon looking thick as thieves. You were friends, eh? Know what he's up to now? Brandon is dead. He died a century ago. Together with his comrades in an attempt to halt the flood as they themselves set in motion. I presume you speak of the eater that took possession of his corpse? Dionysus, aye. But unlike most eaters, he's been doing most of the more than roam about aimlessly. For some reason, he's hunting down royal treasures of old Vorbralt. And he's been killing anyone who's gotten in his way. Is he now? Heh, what irony. Even in death he remains a slave to duty. A knight brave and true. He's a murderer, and I'll not hear it said otherwise. He ruined my life, killed my beloved right before my very eyes. Every night I go to bed dreaming of the day I'll take my revenge. Alright, so slow down, Batman. No, I should say Batman. Slow down, Punisher! Oh, I see. Truly, you have suffered a terrible loss. But while your thirst for vengeance is quite natural and understandable, it is ultimately misguided. Unusual behavior notwithstanding, Dionysus is nevertheless no more than an eater. To hate him is to hate the sea that claims the ship, the disease that steals the child, the trimmer that topples the home. The mindless force of nature that begets destruction, driven by fragmented memory. Don't you dare make excuses for him. You think I wanted any of this? I grew up on a farm. I could barely wield a sword. And now I've got to kill one of the bloody cardinal virtues. That sounds like you deciding to do this. Hate and anger and vengeance is all I've got now. My every waking moment is dedicated to plotting his death. It has to be. It has to be. All right, slow down, sir. This is Winsies. So just tell us where the goddamn ring is, and we'll be on our way. This is how it is. This is how it has to be. Who you have to be. Nay, I think not. You ask too much, demand far, far too much, and in exchange for what? This I cannot abide. Are you trying to barter with me? You little shite! Tell me what I want to know, or I'll beat it out of you. Back off, Ishnai. I won't let anyone or anything stand between me and Linya's murderer. Brandon was a dear friend. To know that an eater disgraced his flesh and his memory pains me more than I can well express. It would bring me great comfort if you were to grant him peace. I would like to share with you a story, if you would be so kind to join me in Guyana? This better have a point. Shut up, angst. Angst. The angstiest angst that ever angst. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's the actual castle. Needs more Linkin Park playing in the background. Why are we here again? Fix your attitude. That's why we're here. It feels like. Can't say 100% for certain. "'Tis beautiful even now, a palace of forgotten dreams. But before it was like in the time of Volbert, it was Grunslich. The memory in mind in which you walked was of a troubled time when the people of our kingdom were prey to an ambitious fool. Brandon, then a young knight who only just won his spurs, had caught the eye of the princess, who chose him as her personal guard. However, he was far too inexperienced and was unable to keep her safe when she ventured outside these walls on one of her investigations. For his failure, he was stripped of his knighthood, and shortly thereafter quit Volbert. I thought I would never see him again. But then one day he returned, one of several wandering adventurers led by a man named Ardbert, who had accepted our invitation to look into the mysterious transformations which had continued unabated in Brandon's absence. Our lady was overjoyed, and for a time it was like nothing had changed. They spoke often and grew closer. And I bet Ardbert, since he is a shade of me, would absolutely be teasing the living shit out of him. And then the day came when we learned the truth. When we learned that the architect of our kingdom's suffering was none other than the court mage Tadric. Trying to get his lady's attention. It's him, Brandon. I'm sorry. So am I. Come, let us have done with it. It was you, what? Say, I'm having a moment. What's the bad guy from Aladdin? Do not deny it. Tormenting our people, twisting and transforming them into monsters. And for what? Brandon. I took such pains, Jafar, that. After such pains I took to be rid of you. You may strip me of my titles, but not my oaths. I shall serve my lady until my dying breath. Do it afterwards. As you like. Once I have killed you and your friends, there'll be no one left to stop me from claiming the throne. Hear me, my children. The hour of reckoning is at hand. Rejoice, for in a noble sacrifice may you find everlasting glory. Lord Jafar, it hurts. I don't feel so good. Soon you shall know no more pain. I was gonna make it quick for old time's sake, but no. No, I think I ought to just take my time. Bitchin'. Oh god, I had to play as it. Button. I failed. Okay. Not everybody stood together with whatchamacallit. Ugh. I just realized. I'm slow thinking today. I am very smart. Except when I'm not. Reaction time? What's that? Realizing that your friend is in danger, yet don't do anything until after the friend dies because it doesn't quite register that your friend is in trouble? Priceless. This madness died. We're doubling it, apparently. Two different limit breaks at once! So we're that special. That special! Time to thin the herd. Starting with the dwarf, perhaps? Don't touch my baby! Albert, don't touch him, you bastard. Yeah, I know, right? Channeling Vast. Can't let him finish. Don't ask for mercy. You won't get it. Okay! I'm going that far already. Cool. Jafar, you won't get our mercy. Bitchin'! 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 Meddlesome wench! This kingdom is by rights mine. No, it isn't. Brandon, what's the meaning of this? Jafar, you. But why, after serving us faithfully for so many years? I'm no servant. No servant. Not of your mother, of father, or you. My lady! Yeah, the thing is, if he still has his weapon, expect that he could be able to use it against you. God damn you. Just keep staring. Nothing's gonna change. My lady, speak to me! No healers here, by the way. Brandon, my dear brave Brandon. Am I your princess still? Would you honor your vows even now? Now and ever after, my lady. My sword is yours to command. What, is she gonna say kill me? Yep. That is well. Would I have that I had the strength to wield it myself. Steel your heart, brave Brandon, for the good of Albert and her people. No, I cannot! I will not! Honor your vows to your kingdom, to your princess. Please. Hot? Kinda? To your friends who never doubted you, who knew that you would return and see justice. No, it should be me. No. Brendan, my sword, now and ever after. Took y'all long enough. We've rounded up the rest of Jafar's co-conspirators and tossed them in the gallows. The ones who haven't been corrupted by his magics, that is. I will not hesitate again, no matter the cost, no matter the sacrifice. Well, you saw what happened. Wicked White. She begged him to do it, like Melina. Come, let us quit this place and return to Plan E. Ba-ba-bum-ba. Do you know why I entered into the royal family service many long years ago? It's because I was attacked by a wild beast which nearly tore me to shreds. It was Our Lady who came to my rescue. She saved me, and that is a debt that can never be repaid, for it is not in this world which holds greater value than life itself. Not even her death absolves me of this, so I must always first consider her wishes, her desires, what she would have wanted for me in her kingdom. For Brandon, yes. And yes, even for you, grandson. For me? To define oneself in opposition to another, in an other bereft of complexity of nuance, wholly devoid of redeeming qualities, a villain. Indeed, there is comfort and certainty in hatred. But it is a false and fleeting comfort, bought with lies we tell ourselves about who we are, what we must be, and what we must do. And never you mind the cost. If anything, the more we offer up in sacrifice, the better. Do you not see? Brandon was right to hesitate, to doubt. The unwavering blade cares not for whom it serves or who it cuts. I think I need a moment. Perhaps you do as well. Leave us for now, Ishnai. Grandson, I have given you ample time, like 5 seconds, for me to, walk back up here, as I do. With most of these things. I have given you ample time to consider the path that has brought you here, and where it will invariably leads all who walk it. I didn't know what to do after I lost Lena. How could I mourn her, or how to mourn her, or how to live? I felt that if I put all that into Brandon, into Dionysus, I put everything into the hunt, at least I wouldn't have to think about myself or what comes next. I wanted to hollow myself out and fill that hole with hatred. Forget who I was, an irony of ironies. That's just what the poor bastard tried to do with himself a century ago, isn't it? Hard men making hard choices. What rot. Hold on to Linnea the way that you remember. Let her love guide you. You're right. I don't need the hate. Never did. I'll finish it for Millennia and for Brandon. And then I'll move on. Move on, you say? I can't live off hate. You could live off spite sometimes, but I mean, that's something different. Shouldn't have made it this far, frankly. The more I try to reach for it, the more I find sorrow, pity. Curse not fate, but mourn her victims. Remember the dead as they lived. Aye, something like that. Reckon Ishnai would agree. And Lilia, if she were here, Would probably slap me a dozen times and call me bloody fool for acting the way I have. Or maybe you've been thinking about doing that in her stead, eh? Actually, yes, but, I didn't know you well enough. Apologies for treating you with such disrespect before, Su'ul. I'd like to claim that I finally understand what you've been trying to tell me all this time. But I'm still getting my head around it. Recognizing your faults is the first and most important step. I'll tell you what I know about the Claw of Orthus. The ring, together with the bracelet and choker, were the 3 relics passed down through the royal family over generations, signifying the owner's right to rule. The princess was the last of her line, and after her death, they were stored in a sanctuary for safekeeping. However, a year ago, a band of thieves learned of its existence. The ones who stole the fangs and eyes of Orthus. Yes, the relics were concealed with magical wards. I can only presume that once they were spirited away, that Dionysus was then able to sense their presence. Even in death, a slave to duty, you said. To think he'd pursued the thieves out of an instinctive loyalty to his princess. That I do. After all, he was content to leave them so long as they remained hidden. Only 2 of them were taken then? Then the 3rd is still... Claim the Claw of Orthus and he'll surely come for you, yes. Timgaius is where you must go. Once you arrive at the place I marked on your map, cast this powder into the air. The glamour will fade and you will see the chest with the ring. The rest is up to you. Thank you, soul. I promise we'll bring you your friend peace. With me, sinner. May you find peace as well, child. Okay, all the way over there. Hoi. Flight! Flight, 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 flight. Okay, there we go. This should be the place. You got the powder on you, right? Yeah, maybe, who knows. You toss the powder into the air, and as it slowly settles to the earth as a twinkling motes of light, a coffer begins to take shape. This must be the Claw of Orthus. Alright. All that's left is decide when and where we want to confront the Eater, and then he's there. Looking at you, menacingly. Or we could deal with it here and now. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. Hey there, old man. I don't know you, and you don't know me, but I know your story. I know this isn't you. I know that if your lady was here, she'd say the same thing. It'll all be over soon. I promise you. Let's put the port. Back here. Did you do that? Yes, he did. He did do that. Well, that's hardly fair. Hold on, Center. I mean, sure. To what? This supplier's been complicated. Still with me? I mean, no. I'm sick. No, I'm only mentally here part of the way. I feel like you're cheating the fact that you're like all the way on the edge of this. Kill the undead pally. Sorry, I'm currently concentrating on being something I'm normally not, which is a tank. There we go. Woo! But I just had to concentrate on that one. Goodness gracious. Zam Eater, let him go. He's not your bloody puppet. Finally. You watching, Millennia? Melina? I keep on messing up all these names! Now and ever after, my lady, my sword is yours to command. Brandon, he's still in there? I'll not hesitate again, no matter the cost, no matter the sacrifice. Wait, is he trapped in the memory still? You're wrong, Brandon. That's not what she would have wanted. Let go of your anger. Let go of her. But that would make me lesser in your eyes, wouldn't it? To shoulder a burden that need not be mine. No, I will not forsake compassion and love. I will not dishonor your memory. Oh, my lady. He's gone. And with that, the three treasures of the royal family are reunited. Now we've just got to find a place to stick them so no scavenger ever stumbles upon them ever again. Least we can do for the princess and her knight. Am I right? Maybe Su'ul will have some ideas. Let's head back to Plan A. Alright. Back and forth, back and forth. After you, Ishnai. Of course after me. Woo! It is done. Brandon has been laid to rest. You saw us when we arrived. Do you really have to ask? No, I suppose not. Oh, my dear friend, I pray you have found peace. What of you, Grayson? Grandson? Had the turmoil in your heart subsided at last? I suppose so. Though, to be honest, it felt like I made my peace with him before we even fought. Because you finally saw him for what he was, and accepted that truth into your heart. The battle was but an afterthought. Easy for you to say. You didn't have to cross blades with the bloke. And by the way, I brought you some gifts. The 3 royal relics of Vobert. Then Brandon was safeguarding both the bracelet and the choker. Now it's your turn to look over the lot. That's what the lady and her knight would have wanted, I reckon. Yes, of course, that their souls may sleep soundly forevermore, and we shall enshrine these relics for all eternity. Now that that's settled, I suppose we should be on our way. There's a detour I'll have to take, but afterwards I'd like to speak you back to the usual spot in the Crystarium. Be well, Sewell. I think that one has a bright life ahead of him. Few can find the strength to overcome such tragedy, but he did. As have you, on no few occasions, I'm sure. It has been a pleasure, Ishnai. Do visit me should you ever yearn to hear an old fool prattle on and on. Oh, you wish to wish the ramblings now? Nay, I think not. Another time, Ishnai, another time. I feel like whenever I come back, you're going to continuously do the another time, aren't you? I will be right back as I teleport to the Crystarium. Just grabbing some more drink. Oh my god, I feel so cold. Ah! Putting on layers. Not sick. No, not sick at all. God, it's so fucking cold. Alright. Let's see. I think I've made a mess. I'm gonna try to put on this bathrobe. There we go. I'm smart. Some days, when I'm well. Okay. Yeah. And since this is the, what we're gonna do right after this is we're gonna stop by the underwater place to turn in the gym to get the outfit. Well, look at the outfit because I am a shallow person. Well met, Sinner. Glad to see you made it back safe and sound. Having returned to where it all began, I can't help but think that back to when I first came here, thinking only of Dionysus and my revenge. I was so wrapped up in my own personal affairs that I didn't realize I was only pushing others away. Really? Gilnard was the only one who saw right through my facade. He's a perceptive one. It took one look at me when I got back and broke into a smile. But enough about him. I have yet to thank you properly, Ishnai. I owe you so much for sticking with me to the end. So what's next for you, Sinner? Good question. I can't say I feel at home here or in Wright anywhere else. So I might spend some time on the road. I may not be as skilled a fighter as you, but I reckon I'm better than most. And there's always someone in need of a reliable sword hand. Milena would have wanted me to use my talents for a noble purpose, and helping folks in need fits the bill. Hells, isn't that what Brandon and his comrades wound up doing in the end? So let's not call it a goodbye. Let's just say until the next hunt. Once I get through all these, there is a scene in that, you know, at the Crystal Tower with each of them. Well, in the wind rooms. Wherever you go, may you find shade, Sinner. Like it's a pep-up thing, kind of like with the, talking in Charlian. With picking a few people to talk to. I don't remember. I'll need to figure out which one scenes is that. But Speaker for the Righteous. All right. Nope, not the right one. Make it over here. Hi, not Gerard. Of course, the weapon's called Shadowbringer. Kind of badass looking, yes. We can't change the color on it. That kind of makes me sad. But it does have a slight purple. Why? Alright. Now let's go see the friends. Yeah, Foundation. Yeah, our closure. Hi, strangers. I've thought about the path, whether I want to walk it myself someday. But after everything that happened with Mystique, I think I might want to pursue Condry instead. Sometimes we have to do bad things for good reasons. I know that, I do, but I'd still rather try to avoid it if I can. If I was a better healer, then maybe I'd have more options or something. That's what... That. Pajal Isumiyan. I could write him a letter. They will tell you you are one and you are two. You can choose. Ah, Ishnai! It so happens I have a letter for you. But before we talk about that, mind telling me what you've been getting yourself into lately? You and your scions, I mean. I have an inkling, perhaps. I went and saved another world, as it happens. Come again? Reflections of the Source? Parallel worlds? Sin Eaters? What in the seven hells are you on about? Something tells me this is only going to make any kind of sense if you walk me through it from the beginning, step by step. I mean, that is the very best place to start. Right then, so to sum up, you were swept up into yet another realm-shaking conflict, were you? Yes. Well, of course you were. You've an insatiable hunger for it, don't you? No, it's just everything seems to find me! And even when you bite off more than you can chew, you refuse to let go. Stubborn. What? As if you don't know. As if you didn't know. Hells, from the moment I laid eyes on you, I suspected you were a particular blend of impulsive and stubborn. And no survival instincts? Takes a special kind of bastard to become a Dark Knight, much less a warrior of light, don't you think? You've traveled onto a doomed world and pledged your sword to a futile cause. You fought and you fought and you fought and fought in the end, and in the end you won the day. Though I know it wasn't without loss, without sacrifice. Victories like that are always bought with blood. But you and your comrades paid that price all the same. That faraway land and her people live on because you all were willing to fight to the bitter end. Because you were too stubborn to die. And because of love, I'm sure. Yes, absolutely. Being grim and dark will only get you so far, don't you remember? It's like the Mughals, like Sir Ompaj himself said. The flame in the abyss, the love you bear for the ones you hold most dear, that is the source of true strength. Ishnai could have never made it this far if her heart wasn't filled with the brim with love. Is this a roundabout way of asking me about my heart's desires? Let's not say we did, eh? I'm sure that thankard fellow you mentioned will provide a far more meaningful and interesting response. Oh. Having to look after the reincarnation of his surrogate daughter is certainly... Though I suppose at some level I can relate. The look. What? I have not once thought of you as my father. Well, no. I mean, we're not even the same race, so of course no one would even look at us and assume. What? If you want to put a label on it, what would you prefer? Master and disciple? Manservant and noblewoman? Sid? How about Chocobo's ass and whatever you damn well like? God, you could be so daft sometimes. Hey! What did I tell you about calling me that? Well, I called him Squall, didn't I? That was the joke of it. Children, am I right? Best we give her a moment to cool her head. For now, let's talk about that letter I mentioned earlier. It's addressed to you, but who penned it, I cannot say. It was delivered to me by a young woman of the broom. Luna, if I believe her name was. She said she'd seen us with you out and about in Ishgard before, and reckoned if she left it with us, you'll eventually be around to pick it up. Before you ask, no, I have not taken a peek, so its contents remain a complete and utter mystery to me. As for the sender, you'll have to pester Lune at the Holy Stables if you want to know more. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have an angry girl to mollify. She thinks of you as a brother. God. An idiot older brother. With a sealed message written in strangely familiar scrawl. Ishnai Ciarfox, you'll forgive me for the sudden correspondence and secrecy. You helped me in a way, once upon a time. It's past time I said as much, and so here we are. Feels like a lifetime ago, come to think of on it. You've been through quite a lot since then, accomplished credible things. I'd like to think that, in some way, I was part of your journey. Far from the best, no doubt, but for me in my own journey, I think it's safe to say that you've been, well... There's no suitable words to describe it, really. I've done things, made decisions. Looking back, I can't help but feel more than a little foolish. But such is life, and we have to seize what opportunities we have for closure. Even if it's through the written word, and not face to face. So, wherever you are, I hope you're happy. Still fighting, still adventuring, still doing what you love. Be well. The letter bears no signature or obvious clues as the author's identity. Perhaps Lune could shed light on this mystery. What is that? Okay. So, steel factory is the closest place we go. Don't know why I picked that accent. I'm trying to think, is it the statue lady? Is it the lady that, you know, wasn't shot with an arrow? It's you! It's really you! It's that Ciarfox, my hero! Honestly, I never thought I'd get to see you again, much less speak to you. Oh, I'm sorry. You probably don't remember me at all, do you? I'm not surprised. All in a day's work, I suppose. Saving silly little fools like me. It was so long ago when you rescued me from those temple knights who were trying to take me away from my grandmother. I still remember it like it was yesterday. Though, you swinging that great big sword of yours, bellowing all kinds of terrible threats and sending them running. Sure, some might say you overdid it, but thanks to you, my grandmother and I have never heard from that lot again. And even Sir Aramek and his allies came to power. We've even had less trouble than that all over. But let me guess, you didn't come all this way to just see me, did you? The letter? Huh? I thought so. It wasn't me who wrote it, I can tell you that much. I got it from a knight I befriended after tending to his chocobo a couple of times. Sir Padenod? He said it was to be delivered to the hero of the Scions, a peerless warrior with 1,000 victories to her name. After he described your features in the detail, it all fell into place, and I was certain you'd eventually pay a visit to your friends, so I offered to take it to them. Anyway, he's the one you'll need to talk to if you're after the sender. Perhaps check the congregation. I mean, that's where knights congregate, I presume. No, it's just because something names it something doesn't mean that that's where everybody will be when I need them. Except when it is. How may I be of service to you, Mistress Ciarfox? Yes, Mistress! The letter! What a relief to see that it arrived unmolested. Sure! It was entrusted to me by Aurela of Ragor's Reach. After the battle at Grimdark, I spent 3 nights there, you see. I can only assume that whoever sent it to the Reach had heard tell of your battle between you and Lord Xenos, and how you had been brought to the barber. However, by the time you had arrived, you'd long since been spirited away to Ishgard. Had Ludi not recognized you from my stories, I do not know how I might have seen it in your hand. If you seek the author, then perhaps you should pay a visit to the Reach. I know only what I told you, but surely Aurela can tell you more. May the fairy watch over and keep you, friend. Hi, we're going... Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Except this is the letter version of it, and it's not really Carmen Sandiego. Pleasure to see you. Lost that long-haired boy of yours again? Which one? Oh, we're talking about Mastel. This is about the letter, is it? It came with a shipment of supplies from Little Alamigo, as I recall. I can only presume the sender was hoping that Commander Hex would see it to you personally, but I'm not surprised it escaped her notice given the chaos of the Grimdark and after. It found its way into my medical supplies, and as well you know, I decided to let this Guardian Knight take charge of its delivery. In any event, I advise you to continue your search in Little Amigo, and if anyone knows aught of the letter's author, it would be kind of bald. Cool. I have records of so many names in the ledgers of late, so many friends dead and buried. All for a good cause, I know, but it doesn't make it any easier. We are going to Little Alamigo. Well met, Ishnai. I was not expecting a visit. What brings you to South this evening? This letter, you say, and you seek the author? If you read it, then you know their heart. What you meant to them, and how you changed their life for the better. I have a feeling I understand it all too well, which is why I agreed to send this letter with supplies for Ragor's Reach. Yet, you were never one to let a mystery remain unsolved, were you? No. You seek answers, closure. I will not deny you this. At the Red Rooster Stead in Lower Los... you'll find a man named Godhurst. Speak with him. Perhaps you'll find a measure of peace. You mean go to the location that does not have a teleportation point? That I have to go to, like, RPG sex capital of Final Fantasy XIV and then teleport out from there? Which one of the exits is it? Tempest Gate. Oh gods, it's you! But why? Why are you here? You really don't remember any of it. The Krikiran bandits? A certain merchant who may have stepped his bounds just a trifle? You were right. Bloody mess when you returned to the dry docks with my wares. And I do mean bloody. I say, none of what I'm telling you ring a bell, really? Not even the part where I refused to thank you and demanded that you pay me restitution for the property you yourself returned to me? Well, seeing as I've already confessed it, I may as well reiterate it. It was me. It was just the beginning of my bad luck, as it happens. A string of bad decisions left me in debt to some very unforgiving fellows, and before I knew it, they had taken damn near everything I owned. I was friendless, penniless, hopeless. And let me tell you, running afoul of the Warrior of Light had not done me any favors either. There was a time when I couldn't help but blame you for all my misfortune. And then one day, I was rummaging through my meager possessions. I had an epiphany. I stumbled upon a package from that shipment you recovered for me from that ill-fated day. Flower bulbs, stained with Krikiran blood, but viable for cultivation, still brimming with potential to grow and thrive. Before I knew it, I was cradling the package to my breast, sobbing and moaning like a mad fool. For a fool is exactly what I had been. I had been offered a kindness without lit or lean, and instead of thanking this generous hero, had spat in her face. So I left that life behind, save for the bulbs I brought here with me, apprenticed myself to the botanist, and resolved to start anew. And wouldn't you know it, these stubborn little fiends finally bloomed for me. I suppose it's only fitting that you show up again that very day. I have 1,000 regrets, but none greater than how I spoke to you. I say this not to beg your forgiveness, but to tell you how you've changed me for the better, and thank you for the opportunity. I do have one request, if you are inimitable. I pray you accept a flower, one of the precious few that has bloomed, a token of my heartfelt appreciation for my personal savior. Admittedly, this is not a particular breed. Admittedly, this particular breed is perhaps best suited for funerals and farewells, but if you'd rather not keep it to yourself, perhaps there's someone else who might welcome it. Nothing like pissing off my other side. Someone else indeed. I'm so grateful I finally had the chance to apologize to you. I but wish that the flowers I had offered you were not the sort primarily associated with mournful occasions. Alright. There is no response. Yet there can be no answer but this, can there? So let us wait for a time, you and I, in the cold, in the snow, in the dark. Over... Let's say... Sam I am? Say, would you like it? Green eggs and ham? Bad joke. Yes. An iris. Where's it? Clever, clever, clever. Or are we just playing it by ear? No matter. I wanted this once. More than anything. A chance to speak and be heard. But neither of us needs it anymore. And if we look deep within ourselves, we would realize we never did. We are the stories we tell ourselves. The brave hero, the tortured soul, the altruist, the pragmatist. They will tell you who they see, but you, and you alone, know who you are. For I speak only for myself, and if you find comfort in my words, they are yours for the taking. But that is your choice, now and ever after, as it has always been. Now comes your part, to cloak yourself in the fiction, to breathe life into the dead, to give a voice to the voiceless. As we did together that day when you gave us our answer. Was it ever mine? Now let's go see if Squall has figured out how to talk to his adoptive little sister. Hey, Foxy Fox! Nom nom nom. My apologies for storing off earlier. You'd think I would be more mature than that after everything I've been through. I mean, sometimes, especially when you're younger, with emotions and hormones and just everything becomes too much. Welcome back, Ishnai. As you can see, Riel and I have getting along swimmingly, so you needn't worry about us in the slightest. Not one bit. So, what of that mysterious sun-sign letter? Did your grand search for answers lead you anywhere interesting? Closure, perhaps? A question mark. Is that so? Well, glad to hear it, I suppose. Actually, let's see if they have anything different to say. I'll stop calling Sid a Chocobo's arse when he stops thinking of me as a stupid little girl. God, do you think after everything we've been through he'd give me a little more credit? It's because I'm so bloody short. I'm due for a growth spurt, but I don't know if I'll ever be as tall as he is. Save any more parallel worlds lately? I jest. So you can't blame a man for viewing such incredible claims with a measure of skepticism, can you? How fare you? It would seem that the Countess's crusade died with her. No one has sought us out since that day. Even so, I do not expect these peaceful days to last. So long as there's those who prey on the weak and helpless, there'll be ever a need for knights such as we. But I worry for Riel. I cannot abandon her, yet I would not have her be a party to what will come. Her? Walk the path? But she's just a... Her life is her own, to make with what she will. If that is her desire, then we shall discuss it. Have you any thoughts on Missil? I try not to think about that strange boy and whatever he might have been. No one truly understands the nature of soul crystals. Not ours, mind. I heard a rumor once upon a time about paladins and establishing dominance. Bollocks, right? Anyways, the one thing we know for certain is that the beings he conjured with his magics were not spirits of the dead, but a simulacra born from the memories of the living. A memory is hardly a perfect accounting of a past events and people. Be it consciously or subconsciously, our perceptions and feelings are distorted by the truth. Take that woman, the cousin of Sir Ignatius. He wanted to make him proud, so he praised her efforts. Loli's husband and Gallien's friends were similarly shaped by their desires within their own hearts. And no, I will rather not discuss the implications of my master soundly defeating me, yet somehow letting you win. The point is, these shades spoke not of the words of the dead, but the truth of our own hearts. What we bore witness to were conversations with oneself. At least, that's what I'm inclined to believe. But like I said, who knows? Soul crystals are strange little things. Perhaps it's best not to dig too deep. Tell me about Frey. Keen to stroll down memory lane? I'm not sure what prompted this, but you insist. Frey was the second pupil to Sir Munaj after me. In our master's words, I was the smoldering campfire, whereas Frey was the frozen lake. A smoldering campfire, while Frey was the frozen lake. He had an unquenchable thirst for knowledge, and pursued the study of conjury in addition to our dark arts. It is well that he did, for otherwise he might not have been able to sense Riel's potential and train her as a healer. Why conjury of all things? I once asked him that. Frey shrugged and smiled in that way of his and said, when you're coming apart at the seams, who else will make you whole again? That was who he was to me. Who he was to you. Though, well, you'd know better than me. Alright. Now we're moving on to the dragon one of this. don't know why it's still... Oh. Right. Because I didn't get the... I still have to get the arms, legs, and stuff. I'll real quickly run to you more anyways. I'll be in that general area. Ah. So yeah, I don't have enough for... So I guess because I'm sick, I'm going through my drink far quicker than normal on when I'm reading, and then... But I'll be right back. Oh yeah. I'll try and be as quick as possible. Actually, instead of going through all the, for the melee stuff, I'm gonna... do the paladin one, and I'm probably gonna end the stream. I am... Oi. I am oi. Yeah, that fits quite well. Power struggles. Power struggles. elite. Captain Jenkins has another... welcome, Paladin. You should know that word of your deeds has reached to me. For you are those who follow the true Paladin path without misstep, but you are one of them. I am proud to call you sister. You have kept the truth, and in return, I must have faith in you. You've kept the faith, and in return, I must have faith in you. It is time that you knew the truth, though it is hard to share, for it is a shame I'd rather keep hidden from outsiders. Perhaps you remember when I told you of the traitor and the sword Oathkeeper that he stole. His name was, and he was my predecessor as captain of the Soulsworn Elite. I'm just gonna call him Sulk. Yes, he was the selfsame man whom I admired as a child, who inspired me to take up the sword and follow the way of the Paladin. He was a paragon of paladins until, that is, he changed. Some years ago now, there was a struggle for influence between the Sultanate military and a fraction within the syndicate known as the Monetarianists. The latter emerged triumphant, and the army's authority was diminished dramatically. Though Sulk was still captain of the Soulsworn Elite, he knew his position was perilous. So he fled, taking Oathkeeper with him. In doing so, he went against the words that he had spoken on bended knee before his royal liege. Now it falls to me as captain to restore the honor and name of the Soulsworn. If that means cutting down my former mentor and master, I will do it gladly, for his misdeeds cannot be forgiven. But his death will not lift the stain that mars our name. He must be put to trial in a public court so that everyone knows his crimes. Then and only then can we begin to earn the people's trust again. He served for over 30 years as captain of the Soulsworn Elite, and he is a formidable foe. Few can match his skill with the sword. Even together, you and I will find it difficult to take him alive without mortal harm to one side or the other. So you must continue to hone your skills and prepare for that day when we face him. To complete the next stage of your training, you must do this. Go to the Yurgrum River in eastern Thanlan and find the brazier we have placed there. By lighting it, you will draw the ire of the Leptoids dwelling within the waters. Face the creatures in battle and master your new skills. The fight will not be easy, but if you take to heart what you've learned and let the crystal be your guide, you will triumph. We're going hippie style. The power of the crystal. Oh no, we're going to Camp Drybone. Ah! You know, often enough, Camp Drybone is not exactly as dry as they say it. Often quite wet. Moist, even. Okay. It occurred to me. One of the other thing I probably want to do is run back. I already gave the money to the Doma stuff, but go ahead and read that stuff aloud. Goodness, so many! I mean, not really many as in the amount. It's just so many waves. Or am I... it's okay. I have a fever and ear infections, but outside of that, I'm fine. Probably gonna end the stream shortly, just because I don't have energy to continue. But I wanted to at least get some stuff done. We were supposed to be streaming Monster Hunter tonight, but A, neither of us did much farming beforehand, and B, I'm having, because of the ear infection, hearing correctly stuff, so, kind of it's hard to do a, you know, multiplayer game that involves interaction and fighting monsters, and when you can't hear as well. Or maybe I'm hearing it, it's just not registering? Any combination of that. Fun. Yeah, any combination of that fun. So, yeah, like I said, I'm probably about to head to bed soon, too. I just want to get probably this and then the Doma stuff done. And pass out. Good, you've mastered your new skills and made them your own. But much work remains to be done before you face the traitor Soltz. We're close to finding him. As our net draws tighter, it grows even more important, and we make ready for the moment where the fish must at last be landed. There we go. Because I'm also having problems reading after a certain point. Alright, Doma. We're running to Doma. Yeah, I was gonna say, they want us to come over here to the... which... Jumping to fairy docks. Ishi bushi! Ishi bushi bushi! Ishi bushi 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 bushi. It is done. I think what he means to say is, due to your continued donations, the project is now complete, and we can all marvel at this fine example of modern domed architecture. If you think it looks impressive from down here, you should see the view from the top. You can see the entire enclave from the classes being held at the Rizuku to the steam rising fresh from the dumplings of the 10,000 stalls. I even saw all the way to the design where the field hands are bringing in their first harvest. From now on, I shall enjoy observing the changing of seasons from our lofty perch. You're playing Smash Bros? Okay. Who won? Who lost? Was it a tie? The Enclave Guard is sure to be pleased with the new watchtower. I know I am. You should probably mention we had enough materials to make a meeting hall for the builders. You will not be seeing me in there, though. Some of us like to concentrate on our work, while others prefer to spend hours talking about it beforehand. I hope you're not referring to me. May I remind you, negotiations are an essential part of any successful business, and we are no exception. I did not mean did not mean it as an insult. You're a skilled architect, and you know what you're talking about, and you certainly do talk about it at great length. That is why I want you to handle discussions with our clients from now on. A chance 1 second. Got third. Nice. You mean it? Thank you, Master. I knew I chose the right profession. Oh, my! Seeing it from afar is one thing, but seeing it from this close is quite another. And what a way to welcome visitors! It is truly a testament to the spirit of Doma. In time, it'll sure to become a symbol of the Enclave itself. Such a praise, I am at loss for words. Huh, makes a change. Actually, I'm glad you like it, Kozasakura. We still have plenty of work ahead of us, though. Is the watchtower not yet complete? You must understand me. I mean the next project. Another project? Your enthusiasm is most admirable. Of course, we are always happy to hear any suggestions regarding future developments. Zuba will stop by the kudzu to present the list of required materials. I don't think I've ever actually played Smash Bros. I've watched people play Smash Bros, but I don't think I've actually personally ever played Smash Bros. Ho ho! No rest for the wicked, eh? I shall look forward to your visit. I dare say whatever this project will require donations of some description. We count on your support. Wonderful, although I cannot think what it might be. You want to know what our proposal will be in due time? Of course it will, but... I don't particularly like party fighting games. This is why I've never had any particular interest in playing it. I've heard Kirby or Donkey Kong are the two. Your kind donations have helped secure the materials requested by Ibushi. Kozasakura, Ishnai, Hachisuba, request your presence in the 10,000 stalls. Do you have time to spare? Yes, of course. Hey, the Kami! Was this all done in a short time while we were away? I mean, I'm not surprised they got it done so quickly. I mean, I can just walk... Yeah. Yes, we had to prize you away from the kudzu long enough for the other builders to renovate it. They certainly work quickly, don't they? It is truly remarkable. What can I say? They learned from the best. Me. Cocky? That's far from empty boast, I assure you. Having received the master's tutelage, even a novice could put something like this together in no time at all. You see, now that most of the construction of the new buildings have been seen to, we can afford to divert our resources to improving the existing facilities. The materials we requested were mostly for carrying out repairs, but we had enough left over to spruce up the kudzu. It's the least we can do to repay all the good you've done. Come now, our contributions pale in comparison to all the backbreaking labor you do on our behalf of the Enclave. Nevertheless, I'm gratefully accept your generosity. Thank you. It was our pleasure. With that taken care of, perhaps we could have a well-earned rest. Does that mean that most of your tasks have been completed? For now, yes. Just a few odd jobs remaining. Then, I think it's safe to say that reconstruction of the Enclave is Good morning! Oh, Yaku! What are you doing? I come to offer a proposal. The Enclave should have a garden. Oh, I see, but where? I have the perfect location in mind. There's a pond behind the 10,000 stalls, and the surrounding area is filled with a variety of trees and shrubs. The area shows much promise, but will need the guiding hand of an experienced gardener, namely myself, to fulfill its potential. With a few careful cultivated plants and a new pavilion, tales of its beauty will spread throughout the land. Now I realize that strictly speaking, a garden is far from essential for daily life, which is why I waited for more urgent matters to be addressed before making my proposal. What do you say? Will you grant me the opportunity to bring a measure of joy to the citizenry? I certainly have no objections. In fact, I think it's a wonderful idea. We shall see to securing the necessary resources. However, this may require a few more donations. Can we rely on your support, Ishnai? Who are you asking me when you know the answer? Marvelous! You have my thanks. A pavilion, you say? Leave it to me. Master, if I may be so bold, I would very much appreciate you letting me handle this assignment. Let's not forget that you're personally attending to a number of smaller, but no less important tasks around the Enclave. I, on the other hand, have time to accept something rather demanding. As you may remember, I once worked as a field hand. Just one of many occupations I dabbled before finding my true calling. That experience will be useful when it comes to gardening, I'm sure. Fine, have it your way. A few days without your incessant prattle will do me a world of good. Then it's decided. Come, I have much to explain. Why? On behalf of the Kudzu, Ishnai, I thank you for your support. I'm pleased to inform you we've made great strides in our efforts to rebuild the Enclave. I was figuring as much. That is pretty. Oh, you're right. It's the one garden has seen overnight. You're gonna send me over there to talk to anybody? Pays me to do so. We have yet to allocate. Okay. There we go. So I finished all that. Alright! I guess that's the end of the stream. I'm sorry it's another short one. Last time was a short one too, but I'm still sick. Let me find somebody to raid, and I'm probably gonna pass out. I have not raided Hero in a while, so I might raid Hero. I see Hero. So. Alright, y'all. This was Ishnai Ciarfox. I hope you have a good day or night, whenever it is, wherever it is you currently are. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and comment. It does me a world of good. Like I said, I am sorry about